Good day, sir. My name is Muhammad Afiq, and I'll be explaining the history of laksa. So, laksa is a soupy type of food that is famous in Indonesia, Singapore, and most of all, Malaysia. So, the word for laksa is said to originate from a Sanskrit that meant 100,000. This is a reference to the ingredients. Now, to make a laksa, you don't really need 100,000 ingredients, but due to the fact of its adaptability, you can actually mix a lot of ingredients in it, hence the reference. So it all began when Chinese traders came to Malaysia to trade, and they ended up marrying Malaysian women, and they stayed here. So their descendants are called Peranakans. Laksa was born by the Peranakans when they have this desire to create a dish which is more resemblance of a Chinese style dish while incorporating Southeast Asian flavor, such as the creaminess of a coconut milk. So laksa was laksa was improved upon its original recipe by when the Peranakan women would incorporate their personal ingredients in it, such as chilies, spices, and so on and so forth. Due to the fact that laksa is very adaptable, there are many versions of it, and it serves as a connection between cultures because every place has their own version of laksa. That's why we have laksa Johor, laksa Melaka, laksa Perak, laksa Pahang, and so on and so forth. That's all for history from me. Now passing to Sabrina. Thank you.
Hello and a good day to Mr. Ash and my friends. My name is Sitin Sabrina binti Shahrul, and I'm going to talk about the culture and popularity of laksa. So laksa came from Peranakan culture, which is Chinese, Malaysia, and Indonesia culture combined. And the word laksa in theory traces back from the Hindi or Persian word laksha, which means 100,000. Other theory says that the word laksa comes from the Cantonese word lapsap, which means spicy sand. Maybe the theory suggested that because of the gravy is spicy, they decided to, make a theory that it comes from the Cantonese word. Other than that is lapsap, which come from Hokkien. Theory also suggested that lapsap is contributed to the word laksa. So for the popularity side of laksa. So laksa is popular in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore. This is because of the three cultures combined. And later after that, it's famous internationally basically. So in 2011, CNN Travels has ranked laksa 7th out of 50 the most delicious foods in the world. But later than that, the rank fell to 26th when CNN host an online poll for it. So in Indonesia, laksa is a traditional food for them, but it is overshadowed by soto. Soto is a soup-based dish that has ingredients in it, so it's almost like laksa, but it's more Indonesian preferred taste. Yes. So the first ever international laksa festivals was held in November 2019 in Darwin, Australia. It's a surprise, but now I know. So that is it for the popularity and culture of laksa.
Thank you so much, Sabrina, for the explanation on the culture and the popularity of laksa. Right now, I'm Fred, will be explaining the preparation of laksa. So first of all, there is three main components that make laksa what it is today. So first of all, we have the broth, which is the most important part of laksa. If you have bad tasting broth, it will affect the whole bowl of laksa. It will taste bad. So first you have the broth. The broth is the most important part of laksa. It is because if you have a bad broth, the whole bowl of laksa will taste bad, hence it is the most important part of laksa. Second, you have the noodles itself. The noodles doesn't contribute much to the taste of laksa. However, it still give you the texture and the consistency of the laksa. So it is the second most important part of laksa. And then lastly, you have the third one is the garnishing. Means that the things that you put on top of your food to top it all off, such as the cucumber, the shallots, red chili. And lastly, the third part of laksa, the most important part of laksa is the garnishing, meaning that the things that you put on top to top it all off. So you have the laksa noodle, you have the broth, and then you have the garnishing. So the garnishing the garnishing depends on what you have. So the garnishing depends on what type of laksa you are doing, and sometimes you just have to find whatever you have in your refrigerator and make things work, because that's what laksa start with, making things that you have and make it work. So for the preparation of broth, for a serving of 5 to 10 people, you need 5 fresh mackerel, and remember to clean the mackerel first. So the preparation of the laksa broth. First of all, for a serving of 5 to 10 people, you need 5 fresh mackerel. Make sure that you clean the mackerel first, and then put the mackerel in a pot, fill it with water until that mackerel is submerged. Add a pinch of salt, and then with a slice of tamarind. Let all the ingredients boil for a while. Remember to slow cook them. It doesn't have to be exactly mackerel. You can also use sardines or even prawn. But mackerel is the original fish that we used back then. Tuna also have the same consistency. The meat also have the same taste as mackerel, so you can replace mackerel with tuna if it's easier to get or cheaper to buy it. So tuna is also a fine choice. So let the ingredient boil for a while. Remember to put a small flame on it. So slow cook or boil it slowly, so that the fish could break easily, so that later you have an easy process of blending the ingredient together. So after removing the mackerel, remember that you have to save the water to use as a broth itself. So do not throw away the water. We need the water. So after removing the mackerel, put the mackerel aside and turn off your flame and let the water in the pot. Do not remove it. So I really like this next part because you use all the ingredients that you bought. I mean, you really use all of it. So remember that you fillet the fish meat. So the bone and the head, you still need them to make the laksa broth. So you blend the head, the bone, and the water until you get this mixture that some part is solid and then some part are liquid. So filter it, squish all the liquid out, and then put it inside the pot so put the liquid that you squeeze out inside the pot that contain the slice of tangerine and the pinch of salt, the mackerel water. So this is your broth, and after that, make sure that we try to do this step 4 to 3 times to really get all the contents that so that you have this really thick fish broth, and it's really gonna be rich in flavor. You have to trust me. And next, so the final step is blend the galangal, turmeric, shallot, dried chilies which are already softened with water, and belacan. If you don't know what belacan is a dried prawn that been baked and make like a small cake, like your palm size. And if you don't know what belacan is, please Google it. And belacan will add a little bit another level of taste for your laksa, and it's a really important ingredient. And you blend all these ingredients, spices. You blend all these spices together and add it to your pot, the boiling pot. So slow cook the pot for a little longer, for at least 3 hours, with the contents, with the meat, the mackerel meat that you squish in a bowl. You add it into the pot, and then the bone and head fish, mackerel water, and with the spices blended into the pot, and then you stir it and let it cook for 2 to 3 hours. So that's it. That's you already have your laksa broth. So for the simple laksa recipe, you only need cucumber, shallot, but actually if you want a little bit of spice, hard boiled egg if you like them, and salad if you want to feel a little bit more healthy inside your laksa. So the ingredients of the garnishing are very optional. You can add whatever you like and whatever feels right with your taste. So that's it for the preparation of laksa. Now that you have the broth, the noodle, and the garnishing, add them to your bowl and enjoy your laksa. Thank you. So when you have these 3 main components of laksa, which is the broth, the noodle, and then the garnishing, you can mix them in a bowl and you can start enjoying your laksa. So that's it from me for the preparation of the laksa. And next we have Sabrina with the types of laksa. Thank you.
Hi, I'm back. As you know, my name is Sitino Sabrina binti Syahrul, and I'm here going to talk about the types of laksa. So the top 3 most Malaysian favorite type of laksa according to my experience living here. So first of all, no one forgets Asam Laksa. So Asam Laksa is a local's favorite and is originated from Penang. Its broth is sweet and spicy. The sweet and spicy broth just suits the Malaysian taste. So the noodles is made of rice noodles, and the broth is made from mackerel, tamarind, shallots, turmeric, lemongrass to add the sourness and spiciness. So this laksa is usually garnished with mint, pineapples, cucumbers. So this laksa is to die for. It's very good. It's very delicious, I must say. For my personal opinion, Asam Laksa is my favorite laksa out of the 3 that I'm going to list. So the second laksa is Laksa Johor. As the name states, it's originated from Johor. So this laksa has a little western twist to it. Instead of using the authentic rice noodle, they use a spaghetti as a stand-in for the noodles. So this laksa it's good, but it's not my favorite. This laksa usually is eaten by hand and not by fork and spoon, so it's pretty cool for to know that fact. So thirdly is curry laksa. So this dish is also known as curry mee. You can get it almost everywhere in Malaysia because every store that is Malaysian or Chinese based will serve this dish. This laksa is mostly spicy and there's a lot going on in it because it has tofu, prawn, chicken, bean sprouts. This laksa is really fulfilling for someone because of the ingredients that is added. So that is all for the types of laksa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sabrina, for the types of laksa, and I'll be explaining the nutrition for laksa. So, according to myfitnesspal.com, a single bowl of laksa, which is this is the basic bowl of laksa, consists of 33 grams of carbs, 12 grams of fats, and 60 grams of protein. Added all those together, we have a total of 313 grams of calories. Now I'll be dissecting each one of it: the carbs, the fats, and protein. For the carbs, we have 6 grams of dietary fiber, 3 grams of sugar, while the fats, 4 grams of it are saturated, 2 grams of it are polyunsaturated, and 4 grams of it are monounsaturated. So for the full protein value, it consists of 340 milligrams of sodium, 558 milligrams of potassium, 40 milligrams cholesterol. And to top it all off, laksa contains vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium value at 6%. Lastly, its iron quantity at 20%. So from the information that I've given, we can see that laksa is a very balanced diet. This is because it follows the food pyramid due to the high carbohydrate content, followed by its good protein value, vitamin value, and lastly its fat value. This is why laksa is a very famous and popular food to be consumed by locals and foreigners alike. So that is all from me and my group mates for our presentation. I hope after this you will also grab a bowl of laksa. Thank you.